Hello, I'm Gage Spell. I'm the web coordinator for the Animation League. And I'm going to be going through how to make your own website on Wix for your portfolio and what have you. So, okay, kind of assume everybody has a Wix account or has made one, because this is where I'm going to start. So, um, I'm going to create a new site from scratch and just kind of go through how it all goes. But let me show you an example of what my website looks like. This is mine. I'm focusing on storyboarding, so that's kind of my main focus. So that's what you see as you arrive to my web page, is the storyboards page. And um, take note that my email and my social media links are visible on every page. I'll show you how to do that. Very easy to do. But I have my animation reel here and my resume here as well. And there are links to download on both of these buttons. So basically my tutorial is basically going to show you how to recreate my website. You can change the layout if you want. You can just kind of mess around with Wix and stuff like that. But I'm just going to kind of show you this layout as a jumping off point. I also wanted to show you Kelson's website. He's another officer in the league, and he's focusing on character development, character design, and like backgrounds. And his website layout looks different than mine because for storyboards you have to show many images, so you have to be able to cycle through them a lot, and you wouldn't be able to feasibly show that many storyboards in a grid like this. But you can do that with character designs because they're just one page. So he's got this whole easily navigatable page where you can see all his character concepts and stuff like that. Kind of a similar design to mine with the bar at the top here. I guess the main takeaway is that you want to make it easy for people to search and look through your website. And the main key term I'm going to repeat a few times is idiot proofing. You're going to want to idiot proof your website because you want to make sure that people can instantly know what exactly they're looking at when they come to their website. So for example, Kelson's, you instantly know that, oh, these are character designs, these are where the character designs are. You just scroll through and click on them if you want to see them. With mine, I've got my storyboards front and center right away. If people want to do full screen, I have it blatantly spelled out here. Hey, you want to do full screen, click on this and then on that. So stuff like that. And then I have instructions on how to use the arrow keys to go through the storyboards and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll get to that a little later. For right now, we're going to create a new site, and we're going to go with portfolio and CV. Click that, and then you can have it create your like a website based on, like, it'll ask you questions and stuff. I don't do that. I did it one time and it didn't look the way I wanted, so I'm just going to choose a template here on the right. And there's all these options, and we're in the portfolio section, but there's all kinds of other ones too. But the one we're going to do is on page 3, I believe. Yep, and it's small brand. So you just can click edit, and it'll load. All right, so it pre-generates this template here for you, and you can move anything around if you want to. I'm gonna kind of show you what the layout of Wix is, because it can be a little, it's simple enough, but it's a little confusing in some parts. So I'm gonna go through this whole side page thing, or these little buttons here, and show you what they do. This website is basically pretty similar to mine. It's just laid out in different pages that are organized by the buttons at the top. So to go through those, the first one is menus and pages. So this lists all of the pages in your website, and you can see that they are reflected here in the bar here. So what you can do is you can set a certain page to be your home page. So when I made the storyboards page, I wanted to make sure this is the one that they see first. So I made it the home page. And so how I did that was, let's say we haven't put in anything yet, but let's say we want this collection page to be the home page. Then we can click the little ellipses here, go to the settings, and there's all kinds of things you can mess with, but you can make it your home page by clicking set, and that'll make it the home page. So when they go to your website, this is the first thing that they see. And you can do that with any of the pages. And under here, you'll see that they're connected by lines. These are the sub pages. So I believe clicking on this image brings you to this page with a gallery of stuff like that. So if you want to organize stuff like that, you can, so you don't have to have a bunch of things up here if you want to. You want to keep it minimal if you can, but so that's how you can do that. And you can always rename this as well. So if this is your home page, you're going to want to rename this to home or storyboards in this case. And let's say another thing you're going to want to do is maybe hide some of these if you don't need them. So we don't need an about page and a contact page. So you can just straight out delete them if you want by clicking the ellipsis and clicking delete, which is what I'll do for that. But you can also, here we don't need a blog page, so we can do the ellipses and hide as well. So that'll keep the page so we can edit it and change things, but it won't be publicly available on your website. So that's handy if you want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and rename these to what we want them to be. So I'm going to make this the real page and this the resume page. And since we don't need these sub pages, I'm just going to hide them. And I'm just going to delete all this stuff. One thing that is confusing is you're going to want to click these just by instinct, but you can't. You have to go to the side and click that. So I've done that before. I'm like, oh, I need to click. Oh, why isn't it doing it? And then you move it, and it's annoying. But so if you want to navigate the pages in the editor, you have to come over here. Oh, and one more thing, there's a section over here called page transitions. And this will play a little animation as you click on each of these tabs here. I set it to none, just so like if there was an animation to play, it wouldn't lag out and it's quicker. You can choose whatever you want, but that's personally what I do. So page transitions none is what I tend to do. So that's the site menu. So that kind of has to do with all the pages on the thing. Now onto background. So what I did is I took a grid render of my storyboards from Toon Boom, and I put a little purple tint over it and made it blurry in Photoshop, and I made it the background here. If I want to do the same thing, I can. There's three options you can have for backgrounds. There's solid color, an image, or a video. I've never done a video, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. But color, it's pretty straightforward. You can just hover over whichever of these colors you want, and you can make custom colors as well. But as you can see with mine, I kind of went with the default purple. But in this case, we want to be special. So I'm going to do my image. So this is my media area where all the images and files are hosted for your website, kind of like a box or a Google Drive specifically for this website. Here's my purple tinted storyboards thing. So I'm going to click Change Background. And boom, it's the background now. So, and we can tweak it if we want to go to settings. I think I keep it on none. So if you scroll down, you can make it so it kind of moves as you scroll. But to keep it from getting too visually noisy, I just set it to none. And you can change how the image is scaled. So right now it's just filled to my screen, but I think I set it to tile on my website. So it's hard to tell, but on the edges, it's repeating. So that's how you can change the background. And I forgot to mention this, there's also a photo studio. So actually, I think this is how I did the blurriness, is I took the image into here and I just used one of these. I don't know which one I did, but I blurred it. So you can actually edit images if you want to do something quick. Kind of the equivalent of Instagram filters and stuff like that. So that's how you do backgrounds, make things look a little nicer. Here's the add section. Now this can be confusing because for some reason, I think Wix orders these not in alphabetical order, but by like most often used or something like that. So we go from T to I to G to V and stuff. So it's kind of like if you're looking for something specific, and it can be kind of confusing. But the main ones you want to focus on are text, where you can just drag and drop text into your thing and edit it if you want to. Add text, you can add images, and bringing you to your image uploads will bring you back to this page. Gallery, which is what you can do what Kelson did in his website, where you can have a big grid of images and click on them and go through that. And I'm going to explain how to do that a little later. Then the next one is shape. You can use these for dividing lines. So what I did on my website is in between, since I have storyboards from different projects, in between projects, I added this little dotted line to kind of show the division between the projects, just so it's a little easier to understand at a glance. Also, buttons are important. I'm going to show you how to use it a little later, but you can use these for downloads, like download file, you can do that. And you can edit the text on any of these, so you don't have to have a say hello button on there, because it's kind of silly. So I'll explain these a little later when I show the resume section. Video is how you do video, embedded video, and I'm going to show that in a second. Social media links, but this is a social media bar, so you can click and drag it, and I keep mine at the very top. So you can click set social links and get out of here, Tumblr, Pinterest, Facebook, nobody uses you. So you can delete those if you want, or any of these if you don't have them. But so if you have a Twitter, you can set the link here, and when you are on your website, you can click the image and it'll go to it. So I keep these kind of up here so they're always visible. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to add some text with an email as well, just while I'm thinking about it. So wash your hands at gmail.com. Yeah, you have to highlight the text to be able to change the font size. And how I edited that is I double clicked it, and it'll give you this option. There's all kinds of things. You can make it bold, and menu is how you get the little menus at top. So I think on my website I use this. Same kind of thing. You can just drag and drop. It automatically will detect what your pages are, so you don't have to like link them to it or anything. So that's the ads section. You're going to use that a lot. This is the app market, and you're definitely going to be using this to put PDFs on. So by default, Wix doesn't have a way to put PDFs like that's built in. You have to go to Add Apps and then search for the PDF viewer. And oh, they changed the color. I got scared for a second. I was like, oh, did they remove it? Yeah, so you just click here, Add to Site, and it'll load. And you can just drag and drop it like everything else. And you just click Settings, and you can choose from your files which PDF you want to use for it, but I'm not going to do that right now. There's other apps and add-ons too, so if there's something you want to put on your website and you need like an app for it, you can find it through here. The only one I've used so far is the PDF one, so that's all I really know about. This is the media section. This is what I was talking about earlier about your files. So it has kind of some of your files here, but I always just click the upload media thing. And you can drag and drop them or upload them from your computer. I already have them because I imported them from my Wix account. But you can also link your Google Drive, your Facebook, Instagram, etc. to import images as well, which is pretty handy. And you can make folders and organize things very much like Google Drive. It's pretty straightforward. So that's basically the media section, and they have pre-made Wix stuff as well. So you can have like preset, like if you need stock photos for whatever reason, you can. So there's that. And then the last button here is my blog. I've never used this. I don't know what it's for. So I don't have a blog, and you won't probably need a blog with your portfolio website. So you don't need to worry about that. So those are the options that you have. These are also other options for sizing and moving things, but I tend to just do it by hand, so I close it. Oh, and then headers and footers. I'm going to explain these. So up here is a header, and down here is the footer. And there are little bars that are visible on every page of your website. So like I showed earlier, no matter what page I'm on, my header with my little silly face here and my email and social media stuff is always there. And at the bottom, it's always, I have a header or a footer, but it's invisible. It just says, oh, Spellcaster Media with Wix. So the footer is not quite as important, but the header is important to have because you want to have your contact information available at all times. You can change the header design like I have. You can tell it's a different image than the kind of sets it apart here. So you can right click it and click change header design. And they have these preset ones. They're a little finicky to edit if you choose a preset color. So if you want to do a custom color like I'm going to do, I always go to customize design with the default one. By default, like this first one only colors in the center area, but mine stretches all the way across the top. So I'm going to set it to the third one over and set that one to purple. And you can make it so these edges are different colors than the center one if you want, in case you need it to be darker, but so it looks a little more uniform. I'm gonna have it all the way across. The font of this is kind of bugging me, so I'm gonna change it. You can change fonts here. They have a set amount of ones. I think the font I use is Langdon. Yeah. Yeah, so that's how you edit the headers, and you can also make it so they disappear. So before on my website, I had it so if you scrolled down, it would stay there for a second and then disappear. But I'm not gonna. It takes up so much space. I didn't want to have so much screen space taken up by just this. So I have it scroll down. You can make it scroll with the site, which is what I do on mine. You can have it freeze so it stays on the top of your site no matter how far you scroll. Have it disappear where basically it'll stay there for a second and then like it'll go whoop and it'll go up, or have it fade out where it fades out. So I'm just gonna have it scroll with the site like mine does. So this is the header, yeah. So everything you put in here will stay here. So if I wanted to add my my goofy little head here, if I put it on this page down here, it'll stay in the storyboard section. But if you just click and drag it and put it up here into the header, it'll always stay in the header. So there's that, and this same thing with the footer as well. Every time you change this, if we wanted to do like, oh, by ASLN, it'll stay like that on the bottom of every page. All right, let me finally get down to explaining how to do all the different pages on my website, as well as I'm going to show you how to do Kelson's as well. So let's start, since it's the easiest, with the animation reel page. So we'll go to menus and pages, and we'll go to our reel page. And there's already a video here. If you really want to be trendy, you can use Vimeo, but I don't do that. So I'm going to add a video. And since mine is a YouTube video, I'm going to drag the YouTube embedder here, and it'll have something by default, but you can easily get that out of here by clicking it or double clicking it. You can click change video or go to here. Oh, that's actually, I didn't know you could do that. You can switch, if you wanted it to be Vimeo, you can just switch it. So let's see, I've got my link here for my reel. I'm going to click the share button. When you use YouTube and do your reel, this is very important. Don't take the link from up at the top you don't want to use this link because it is different every time. In fact, I think it says like it was 18 seconds in when I clicked on this video. So don't do that. You're always going to want to click share and then copy. And this is the link that's the same every time, or it's a link that'll at least last forever. So you copy it, and then you can just put it in here, and it instantly goes to the video, which is handy. And then if you ever want to test your website, you click preview at the top, and then there we go. Oh, okay. This is odd. I don't think the background is different for every page of your website. So if you want it to be the same background, like I have on my website, you have to change it every time. And you can see that it's a little visually cluttered here. So what I do on my website is I have, if you right-click on your background and click the little pen icon, I have it so it's this little like transparent white thing. So it gives a little visual clarity. So next we'll do the resume page. And we're going to delete this stuff. Get out of here. I'll just leave the background. I don't want to waste time with that. And I'm going to add the PDF viewer. It's always handy to have your resume as a PDF as opposed to like a document, because every type of computer can read PDFs in some way. So I always just keep it as a PDF. And the way I have my resume page laid out is I make it so it's big enough to where you can read. I have a header, which I'm not going to put that, but it's easy. You just kind of, I think I copied this text and I just pasted it here and changed the text. But I made it so you can read it without having to download it or open it bigger. So I just put it pretty wide. So you click settings, and I'm going to upload my PDF. So this is my resume, and yeah, so I make it so you can read it without having to open it. But like I said before, we're going to want to idiot-proof it. So there's a way you can download a PDF from this, but if you just have this box and nothing else, people might get confused because you have to go to Tools and then or no, there's this little button here that you use to download, but people might miss that because all these buttons look the same. So I have a dedicated download button here for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down, go to Add Button. I'll just use the purple one for now. Drag and drop it in here. And the good thing about footers is that they move to give you space for whatever you're adding. So if you need to put things lower, you can just drag it down, the footer will move. So we have our button here, and for right now, if we preview it, clicking on it doesn't do anything. So we're gonna have to set it to do something. So you can click on it, you can change the text. So I'm gonna make it say download in all caps. And then you can change the layout or something. I think that's for the text, but for the design, you can change the way it looks. You can make it yellow so it really pops against the purple. But for now, we're going to want to link it. So even though you're not attaching a web page to it, you're still going to need to click link. And so you can link either a web address, a page. You can click it to go to the top of the page if you want. But in this case, we're going to link it to a document. So you click document, and I'm going to choose file, and I'm going to make it the same resume file that I had before. I believe it was this one. So now, if we click preview, clicking this will bring us to a page where it's where we can read it in full, first of all, and then you can click download up here. So pretty simple, but to go the extra mile and make sure that people really understand that they're getting a PDF file, I like to add a little PDF icon. You want to go to Add, More, and then Document buttons here. And you can see they've got all these here. These are just, they're the same as buttons, but they look a specific way. So I'm going to drag the PDF one. And oh, it automatically has a document. It automatically opens this up because it knows you want to tie a document to it. So that's helpful. So I'm going to click on the resume again. We essentially have three things on the same web page that do the same thing. So you can read the thing here if you want to. You can download it from here if you want to. That opened up Acrobat on my computer. Then you can click download here. It'll take you to this thing where you can download it. Or you can click this thing, which does the exact same thing. So that way, no matter what someone's first instinct is, because more savvy people will know, oh, I can probably download it here. Other people will want to see a download button. And now that I think about it, you might want to have the download button on the top. I never thought about that. I'll leave it up to your own discretion if you want to do that. But so yeah, so that's the resume page. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a page so I can show you how to make something similar to Kelson's page. So what we're going to do is go to menus and add a page, and we'll name it the backgrounds. Oh, that's interesting. So if you have more than 3 here, and if you have more buttons than it can fit, it'll do more. But if you spread them out like that, they'll show all of them. So we have the backgrounds, and if you want to do something like this, where you have the images in a neat grid, and you can click on them and see them in bigger detail, what we can do is go to Add Gallery, and there's all kinds of ones, and some of them are for kind of just advertising purposes, but I think what we use is just this first one, Grid Pro Gallery. And I think that should appear for you. I have a pro account with Wix, but I don't think it gives me this thing in addition. I think you can do this on your own account as well if you don't have a pro account. Basically what Kelson did for his website is just do this, and you can go to Manage Media, and you can set the order of these. If you want the lemons to be first, you can have it. If you want the Arctic fox to be at the back, you can. And then you can hit done, and that'll edit it. But you can also make it so it's your own custom media as well. So you can add images from here. So if I want to have my goofy cartoon head here, I can. And if I want it to be the first thing you see, I can just drag and drop it there. Super easy. And then if we preview it, we can click on the image, and it'll get bigger. By default, it'll open up with the name of the file and the description. You're going to want to turn that off unless you want to specifically discuss what you're talking about. You can click here and go to settings, and they've got all kinds of like layout options. And so you can go to settings, and then open and expand mode is the default option, but I think I have it open in full screen is the option I have, or the option that Kelson might have. We can see. So that's how you can do a gallery. So now we'll get to the thing that kind of takes the longest, is the storyboard section. So the way I have it laid out on mine is kind of taken from other people's websites, and you can Google whatever your respective major is and their portfolios. Like look for people in the industries websites, kind of see what they do. I found I literally Googled storyboard artist portfolio in Google and clicked on the first thing, and got something that a girl has her website laid out very similar to this, where it has the name of the project, when the project was done, and then a preview window where you can toggle through the panels, and then a description of what the project is, and then kind of instructions, and then scroll down for more storyboards so people really know that there's more stuff below. I can just copy and paste this. I hit Control C and then Control V. If you're on a Mac, it's Apple C, Apple V, or Command C, Command V. Or you can just click. Everyone knows how to copy and paste. So you can have this say like storyboards if you want. And then copy paste that. Make it so it says bad quest. Oh, bad quest. And then I can have the description. So I can go to add, text, and then there's headings and there's paragraphs. You can go, I do paragraphs for the smaller text. And this is a little finicky. The text boxes line up, but sometimes the text doesn't. So it's kind of by the box. So gotta figure that out. But I'll just copy and paste this. And you can edit all the text to your heart's content. You're going to want to make it big and easily visible. Oh, and I just did it. I hadn't explained that before, but you can do Control Z or Apple Z to undo, like you can in Photoshop and all that. So if you do mess up on something like, oh no, that was in perfect alignment, what did I do? You hit Control Z and it goes back. And then you can go to, oh, it is a little annoying with the PDF, so you have to go to the store every time. So you have to search for the PDF viewer. Add again. And then it took me a little bit of trial and error, but I had to make it so this was in the right dimensions so you could see all of one panel at a time. So that when you use the arrow keys, it was lined up perfectly. So when you do that, it can be a little finicky, but so I'm going to upload the PDF. And bigger PDFs take a second to load, which is why I have the little disclaimer on my website saying boards may take a moment to load. That way people know that your website isn't broken and it's just taking time to load. So that's probably a good thing to have. Yeah, I have it lined up with the top of the text box. And if you want to move things horizontally or vertically completely straight, you can hold Shift and click and drag back and forth like that. So now if we go to preview, this is kind of ugly looking right now, but this is just kind of the thing. So it'll load your PDF, and then if you click in this boundary, like if you click out here, using the arrow keys would scroll you up or down. But if you click in here and use the arrow keys, it'll go through each panel of your PDF. So that's how you do that, and that's why I made it pretty clear that you want to click inside and then use the arrow keys to navigate. In the case of the certain studios that'll be like, we want to see the grids as well, grid with all the images at the same time. Then what you can do is you can do the same method we did earlier with the backgrounds or the gallery, is go to Add, Gallery, and the one I used is the slider one. Click and drag, and it's really big by default, so you want to scale it down. And with the slider one, or this specific slider one at least, all the images will resize to the height of your boundary box here, so you don't have to worry about it getting cut off. And then you can do the same thing with Manage Media. What I'll do is I'll select all, and I'll delete these. And I'm going to add the images from like the board grids, which I have organized in individual images. So I'm just gonna, you can click and drag, which is kind of handy. All of these will probably be out of order, but that's why this is here, so you can reorder them. Done, and there you go. So now when you go to preview, you can click on these and they'll open similarly to the other thing. I make it so it does full screen. So you can click here, settings. Oh, and then when you click on it, open it full screen like we did before. Everything in Wix is editable, so you can edit there's an arrow there that you can't tell is there to go through more images. So I want to change the color of that. So you can go to Design, Overlay and Icons. You can choose how dark it gets when you hover over it and stuff like that. You can just kind of customize it any way you want. How did I do? Oh, the navigation arrows color. I think I made it a yellow color, but I'll just make it red for now. So now you can just barely see it, but there's an arrow there. So if you have more than can fit in a row, you can click on the arrow and it'll slide down. Yeah, like I said before, this is kind of a compromise between the studios that want you to have it in one panel, and then you go through with the arrow keys, and then the studios that want to see all the boards or many boards at once. Yeah, I think that's kind of the gist of what you want to do. Obviously, you're going to want to pretty it up a little bit like mine, and even mine is not perfect. I could improve a few things, but yeah, just kind of take the time, make sure that the font looks proper, and like this is unaligned, so you can line it up with the middle. You can delete that if you want. So yeah, and then if we wanted to make a little divider like I have here, you can go to Add Shape, and then I think I use this little dotted line one, so you can click and drag, drop it out here, make it longer, edit the design so it can be something bigger like that, and you can customize it like everything else. And so that way that kind of marks that is that project, and that's it. And then if you wanted to do something else, you can bring the PDF viewer down and add another PDF into there and repeat the whole process. So I think that's pretty much the end. Except for publishing. So I'll tell you how to do publishing so it's actually visible. So I have auto saving off. So saving, previewing, and publishing are all up here. And you can publish it by clicking here, and a little window will pop up saying, hey, it's online. This is what website it's at. And you notice that it has kind of a really long link, but that's what happens when you have the free version of Wix. It's always going to be your account name, then .wixsite.com, and then your custom URL is editable after this. Oh no, you click save, it'll save. You can edit it here. So if you want to do like storyboards or something like that, you can do that. Or a portfolio, that's probably a better thing. So that will be the URL of your website. So that's what you can put on your business cards and stuff like that. And then it's got a handy little view site, so you don't have to type that in. You can click that. And this is our website. When you have the free version of Wix, I think I messed something up with that. When you have the free version of the website, this is always up there. That you can't really get around that. So you always have that Wix ad, but it's not that big of a deal. It's pretty unobtrusive compared to other things. I have a pro account, and that removes it. So if you're wondering why my website doesn't have that, but yours does, that's the reason why. And I also have, since I have like the pro Wix account, I have my own domain name. So my website is gagespellart.com. Yeah, so that's the reason why mine looks a little different. So it's not very pretty right now, but we have a functioning website. And one last thing I want to show is the mobile view. You can go to switch to mobile up here, and that will show you what it looks like on a phone. And obviously it's a little weird and janky looking right now, but you can edit that. So you can kind of edit it to your heart's content. And instead of having the little navigation bar at the top, it'll be this little mobile menu if you want it to be. So you click that, and then an overlay will come up. So this is what it would look like on a phone. So then you click that, and you can go to, I want to see their reel, and then go to here. So that's handy to have. And a good rule of thumb is that whatever is in this center section will be on your on the mobile version as well. So that's good to have. And editing like the header and stuff on the mobile version does not change the stuff on the desktop version, which is helpful because I was worried about that before. Where like, oh, if I change the header, it's going to change, but it doesn't change. The mobile and the desktop versions are different. Just when you click the mobile version, it takes the changes from the desktop version initially, but once you start editing the mobile version, it's totally different. Anyway, delete files. Yes. I'm going to assume you muted from your media area. So let's say, hey, this is low res and it sucks. I want it out of here. So you can just click on it, move to trash. If you want to delete something from your front page of the website, you can click on it and then you can right-click it and then move or click delete, or you can just hit the delete key on your keyboard and delete it as well. It should kind of go without saying that deleting this will not delete the whole image from my media library. It'll just delete this version of it on my website. So or on visually, you kind of know what I mean. How do you delete the whole site? Oh, yeah, you can delete the entire site from your Wix My Sites page. You can go down to Site Actions, move to Trash, and it'll probably be like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And you delete it. Let's see here. What should we write down in the description part? What I did is this is also something I got from that other storyboard portfolio that I looked at. Sarah Vittori, yeah. I looked at her website, and she has the same kind of layout where it's the grid and then the thing in here. But what she does, she just kind of summarizes the story of what the storyboard is about. So that's what I did here. Is if you had a storyboard, you would just kind of want to just briefly summarize what your story of the storyboard is about, but don't have it be super long. Just maybe 1 or 2 sentences. Thanks for coming. I'm glad it was more than one person like last time. If you have any more questions for me, you can contact me on the Discord. The link is in here.